Welcome to Have I Got News For You? I'm Steph McGovern. In the news this week. In Moscow, at Vladimir Putin's weekly judo class, the caretaker's future is in peril after he sets the underfloor heating too high. Outside Westminster Abbey, after a service to heal a divided nation ends in chaos, one man in the congregation lodges a complaint about the Archbishop of Canterbury's behaviour.
He put his fingers up like that to me. Now, you should have told him he can't do that.
And at an ERG horse riding away day, Jacob Rees-Mogg is accidentally given the horse meant for Mark Francois. On Ian's team tonight is a journalist and political activist who famously called Piers Morgan an idiot on live TV. Finally, someone who can bring the country together. Please welcome Ash Sarkar. And with Paul tonight is a comedian and TV presenter who went to school in Devon, where there were only 4 children in his year, and yet he still didn't get picked for the football team. Please welcome Josh Widdicombe. So we start with the biggest stories of the week. Ian and Ash, take a look at this.
That's Notre Dame burning down.
This is all the stuff having been moved to the Louvre, right? Oh, and Macron enjoying his little pole bounce there with a spring in his step.
And that's the money flooding in from everyone to save the building. No one died, so it's not a tragedy. I mean, it is a tragedy, but it's not. You can laugh.
I know, Pete, you're not sure whether to, though, are you? Because it is very tragic.
It is, but only in the sense that whenever they restore a major building in Europe, the chances are it will burn down.
Yeah.
My favourite thing about it has been celebrity responses. Footballer Neymar Jr. tweeted a picture of the Disney character Quasimodo hugging a miniature cathedral. And I just sort of thought, like, did someone tell him that it's not a documentary?
You get that on Facebook, wouldn't you? Get people going, I was there 8 years ago.
Yeah, let's have a look at some of the responses, because, as you say, really sad news, but there was quite a lot of people who made it worse with how they responded. Piers Corbyn tweeted, "Stone doesn't burn, there's something else burning in there."
Oh, my God.
To which quite a few people replied, "That'll be wood, mate."
Is this Corbyn's brother?
Yeah.
Because when you say Piers, we've got to watch it.
Yeah.
Or she'll start very unfairly calling him an idiot. You know, which he isn't.
Yeah, why did you
He's
call...
a moron.
Why did you... Why did you call him an idiot?
It was one of those say what you see type game shows.
Have a look at this tweet as well. After all the aftermath and destruction of the Notre Dame fire, the altar and cross remained untouched. Please explain to me how you don't believe in God after seeing this. To which Dan Broadbent replied, because the melting point of gold is 1,064 degrees Celsius and a wood fire burns at around 600 degrees Celsius. So the French government had only been prepared to put 40 million euros towards renovating Notre Dame, but how much will the repairs actually cost?
Is it $1 billion?
The estimates, yeah, €1 billion.
Which is the cost of 1 DUP-MP.
You're comparing a Catholic church. I've been offended on this programme before.
You're right, though, it's €1 billion, so it's quite short. The director of the Paris Archdiocese, Philippe de Couvreville, told The Times, "We tend to wait for things to become catastrophic before we take care of them." To which Theresa May replied, "Oh, you too." But there is good news in all of this. People have been raising money for them. Much of the €1 billion has already been pledged. Who's been putting their hands in the pocket?
L'Oreal?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Because God's worth it.
Yeah, why is it worth it? Why have they been putting their hand in the pocket?
Tax deductible?
Oh, is it?
Yes.
I was just being cynical. I didn't think
Yeah.
it was true.
Your cynicism is well placed.
Do they get their products mentioned in the Bible?
Because Jesus did have great hair, didn't he?
Yeah.
Wonderful. He was admired for it.
Now, within 48 hours, French business leaders had pledged over €500 million to rebuild Notre Dame. Meanwhile, a website set up for Brits to help our French friends in their hour of need had raised an additional...
£200.
Not far off. £1,048. You're welcome.
It's just the precision of 48, as if someone's thought 50 quid's a bit much.
More of the art treasures were saved than was thought. What were they?
There was a crown of thorns, apparently, that was meant to be an original relic, and some other stuff.
Yeah,
Jesus' baby diary.
with a lock of hair.
3 days old and I'm talking already. Wow.
Yeah, you're right, the crown of thorns.
I'm right.
But the things that were saved that we definitely know were there was the huge rose window of stained glass.
Yep.
The metal chicken that was on the spire, the rooster.
It was a cockerel, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there we go. It's a type of bird, isn't it? And...
It's not Kentucky Fried up there, is it? Symbol of
Well, it was
France.
after the fire.
Did you see Donald Trump's attempt to help the French fire service, who obviously have no idea how to fight fires? And he suggested you put tankers full of water...
Yeah, flying water tankers.
and then just throw it down.
His original advice was build a wall and get the fire to pay for it.
Yeah, Lieutenant Colonel Michael Bernier, good name for a fire chief.
Yeah.
Fire chief of France's civil defence organisation, he explained even one load from a water bomber would have been the equivalent of dropping 3 tons of concrete at 250 kilometres per hour on the ancient monument. There was a bit of good news for Trump, though, this week, wasn't there?
The report, which he claims clears him of collaboration and collusion, although it doesn't quite do that.
No.
But at the moment, he's saying it is. So essentially, all the people that think Trump is an idiot still think he's an idiot, and everybody who thinks Trump is an idiot also think he's an idiot.
Yeah, this was the releasing of the Mueller report.
Yeah.
Well, some of it, actually, because it's quite a bit redacted, isn't it? And Attorney General William Barr announced that it proves Trump had not colluded with Russia. You know, because we love him, Trump, obviously. Do you want to see a construction worker doing an impression of him?
Oh, yes, please.
Go ahead.
No, hold on. We're gonna do it right. Just go like this when you're ready. What a tremendous day here. The Long Island Railroad is screwing up this job. It's a horrible job. I have hired my good friend, John Valente, and his great wife, Rosie. They're tremendous people. And I'm going to tell you right now, we have to come in and do this job on time and under budget. We're going to go with Oliveria, or is it Oliverio? They're good people. They're Italian.
This is the good news that the damage to Notre Dame Cathedral is not as bad as first feared. According to The Times, the cathedral's organ, one of the largest in the world, with 5 keyboards and 8,000 pipes, may need to be repaired. Or not, said local residents. According to one conspiracy theory, President Macron was behind the fire, hoping it would divert attention away from his political problems, which might explain why Theresa May was recently seen heading to Westminster Abbey with a can of petrol. Paul and Josh, take a look at this.
There's Julian Assange. There's a cat coming in. And I think that's the new Ecuador president.
That's
Yes.
my kitchen.
Yes. So, yeah, the Ecuadorian government changed hands and they wanted to get rid of Julian Assange, so they did, essentially. He's been a very bad house guest, apparently.
So, according to President of Ecuador, Lenin Moreno, his behaviour was unacceptable and included spying on embassy staff, hitting embassy staff, and maintaining constant improper hygienic behaviour, which included smearing his faeces on embassy walls.
I wouldn't put that under hygiene. Like, that's a whole different thing.
It's not like, oh, you had a bit of BO, is it? It's like...
Diplomatic language.
Yeah, but if that
He
wasn't
wiped
bad
his
enough...
arse above the mantelpiece. What was the cat doing in there, then?
Well, that's his famous cat, isn't it?
He's got a famous cat?
Yeah.
I did never heard of it.
Yeah.
He said, oh, you'd never believe what the cat's done in your living room. I had to hold him above a stepladder to get him up there. But he did it. Got to take him off that go-cat. Other cat foods are available.
If that
Other
wasn't...
embassies are available.
Not to Julian.
Sadly not.
What might be the real reason the president lost patience with Julian Assange?
He, like, sent out a picture of the president eating a lobster, didn't he?
Yeah, apparently he hacked into his private computer and then posted an embarrassing photograph of the president in bed with a lobster.
Yeah.
Is that bad?
Apparently so, yeah.
He'd just been announcing austerity measures for the rest of the country. So the Ecuadorians were a bit cross.
Understandably.
And then the president was a bit cross with his house guest for saying, you're a luxurious hypocrite.
What was the president's excuse for being in bed with a lobster, though?
We're in love. My wife understands we have an open relationship.
The president told the BBC's John Sopel, "That was my birthday. I was watching soccer in bed. It was a great day. My wife gifted me the pyjamas I was wearing and the lobster."
Tell you what, his wife, who's bought him pyjamas and a lobster, that is a shit birthday.
I can tell you're young.
What was the worst thing, apparently, that Julian Assange did inside the Ecuadorian embassy, as if it hasn't been bad enough what
We haven't
said?
covered it.
That's another thing.
Worse than shit on the walls?
Apparently so.
Shit on the ceiling?
How would you do that?
Gaffer tape. I would guess.
He skateboarded.
Yes, according to
Is that worse?
According to the Daily Mail, it is. He skateboarded through the embassy in a pair of shorts.
Is he Bart Simpson?
Well, wait until you see the skateboarding, because I think skateboarding through the embassy is a bit of a push for a description. Have a look. Big build-up.
Yeah, he's going for it. You can't be that bad at it, can you?
That woman looks proper bored, doesn't she?
Yeah.
He's had 6 years to get that good.
That poor woman, it looks like, you know, when you're like 16 and you go over to a boy's house and he's like, yeah, do you want to watch me play FIFA for 5 hours?
It's like one of those films, like an alien that comes to Earth and has to, like, fit in.
How did embassy staff believe Assange was spying on them?
They read it on the internet?
They feared he'd put a hidden camera on his pet cat's collar.
You're going through the footage, about 90% of it is just going to be a close-up of it licking its arse.
What, Assange? Where is his cat now?
Oh, being looked after, I'm sure, by...
Been extradited.
There was some footage that WikiLeaks put out, because I was worried about the cat, and WikiLeaks put it out the week before Julian Assange got arrested. I think his lawyer took it, so it's in safe hands.
Oh, good.
So the
That's a
cat
relief
knew
then.
in advance, but didn't tell Assange. They're like that, cats. They just don't care.
Listen,
No
mate, I
loyalty.
used a litter tray, so why don't you?
Who's distanced themselves from Assange now?
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Should we have a look at the video?
Yeah, why
His
not?
Love and now hate of WikiLeaks.
absolutely.
WikiLeaks just came out with lots of really unbelievable things.
It's been amazing what's coming out on WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks. They want to distract us from WikiLeaks. The sad part is we don't talk about WikiLeaks because it's incredible.
Mr. President, do you still love WikiLeaks?
I know nothing about WikiLeaks. It's not my thing.
This is the eviction of Julian Assange from the Ecuadorian embassy. At one point during his stay in the embassy, Julian Assange received a visit from Yoko Ono. And when that didn't work, they had to remove him by force. According to the I newspaper, one French minister told the press, France is considering offering Julian Assange asylum. When asked by reporters if the ill-mannered lack of hygiene and disgusting toilet habits might be an issue, Assange said, I'll just put up with them. Now on to round two, the Easter egg hunt of news. Fingers on buzzers, teams.
Are they a pair of pants from the Bible?
No. What's significant about them if you're looking at them?
Big.
Yeah. This is the news that the world's largest pants are manufactured in the UK.
Does that mean that we have the biggest people who wear pants?
Well, they are bought globally, so it's not just people here buying them, but they're made here.
Oh, it's a big export
Yeah.
opportunity for our new trading
Yeah.
status.
Yeah. How...
We export to the biggest arses. That's the slogan on the bottom of every packet.
How big do you think the biggest pants in the world
72
are?
inches.
That's really close.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm not saying how I know that.
Size 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're designed for a 70-inch waist.
Well, there we are, you see.
Yeah, and here they are.
So has she lost weight, or how...
Is everyone in the world just getting bigger?
I think, is it not a case of you always have a comfy pair of pants in your drawer?
Yeah, but
you know...
there's comfy and there's a tent.
Yeah, but they're like your peace of mind pants, aren't they? So you
Peace
know...
of mind?
Yeah, because, you know, one day... Come on, Ash, back me up on this. All girls have a big pair of pants in their drawer where, just in case you're having a really bad day, you just want to wear comfy pants.
Yeah, but they're usually not the size of a studio flat.
Well, mine are. Laura, the business owner, told The Sun, I started to sell big knickers, but customers kept coming back asking for much larger sizes. How many pairs do you reckon she's sold? She's only started this recently.
I say 125,000.
No. According to The Sun, over 1,000 pairs.
That is over 1,000, 125,000. I've got CSE grade 5 maths. I have.
Do you really?
I do, yeah. I don't even have O-level maths. God, it's dreadful.
You don't need it.
No.
What headline did The Sun...
Did you not get it, Steph?
What, my GCSE in maths?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've got a GCSE in maths, thanks, yeah, and an A-level.
Well, they're cheering an A-level.
I used to dream of having an A-level.
What did The Sun compare the pants to in order to help readers imagine how big they are?
The size of Wales.
No.
No.
The Sun revealed that the pants are 6'7" in circumference,
Boom.
which is the same height as...
Peter Crouch.
Peter Crouch!
What, if he was bent round?
Yeah. No, if he
ring?
held them up, I suppose, but they haven't done that in The Sun.
No, it'd only be half that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the circumference, yeah, fair
I
enough.
did maths.
That A-level
This is one of those questions I never understood in maths. If a professional footballer is 6'7", how many pairs of 6'7" pants must he wrap around his head before he can fill a bar full of strawberries and half a pound of apples? Never understood those questions.
Meanwhile, what's Barbara the sheep wearing?
Knitwear.
Barbara the
Knitwear.
Not far off.
A jumper with her own name on it.
No. Think lingerie.
Oh, no. Oh, too late. It's gone. I know what I'll be counting when I go to sleep tonight.
Barbara's droopy udders left her struggling to feed her lambs, so farmers David and Catherine Cross fitted her with a bra for support. Do you want to see Barbara showing up?
It could never live up to my idealist image of her. Go on, then.
I will, let's have a look at her.
Remarkably disappointing.
Yeah. This week, Barbara was in The Sun on page 27, the Metro on page 5, and the Mail Online on their sidebar of shame. All right. Who gave the farmer the bra to put on Barbara?
Someone famous?
No.
Oh, was it like the same people that make bras for the Queen?
No, it's not. It's one of the neighbours. Catherine revealed she happened to be throwing out an old bra and asked David if he wanted it. David has been shepherding for many years, but this is the first time he's put a sheep in a bra.
Oh, yeah, that he tells you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is the news that the world's largest pants are manufactured in the UK. One client who bought the supersized knickers was incredibly relieved, saying she hadn't worn knickers for years, which is standard in Middlesbrough. Also in the news this week, a farmer in Norfolk has fitted his sheep with a bra. If any other farmers want to buy a bra for their sheep, they're available at Lamb Summers. David Cross said that he cut 2 holes in the bra for the lambs to suckle as the police bundled him into a van. Fingers and buzzers.
This is the Crystal Palace goalkeeper, Wayne Hennessy, who got accused of doing a Nazi salute in a photograph, but was this week cleared after establishing to the FA that he was too stupid to have heard of the Nazis.
He specifically claimed Adolf Hitler. He had never heard of Adolf Hitler.
But I reckon that he didn't know the lower down. He wasn't like, I'm big on Himmler.
Yeah, this is in January. The Crystal Palace goalkeeper was at a team bonding dinner where he's accused of making a Nazi gesture in a photograph. For anyone not familiar with Wayne Hennessy, he's on the far right. Sorry, I mean left. I always do that. Get me lefts and rights mixed up. The photograph was taken...
Is he also doing that with his hand?
Yes.
He claimed that was because he claimed that's because he was shouting to the photographer.
Does the bloke next to him never heard of Churchill?
The photographer was a waiter called Jordan Bussolini.
I mean, that joke's lost on Wayne Hennessy.
Yeah, and as you say, according to The Guardian, Hennessy told an FA panel that he was unaware of what a Nazi salute actually was.
Are you telling me that we live in a country that is obsessed with World War II? Like, our elected politicians are going around. You'd think that they'd, like, fought personally on the Normandy beaches, and this man has never heard of Hitler, ever.
Yes, that's right.
It's mad, isn't it? He's watched all of Fawlty Towers and he enjoyed 11 episodes. One of them, he was like, I don't get this one at all.
Do you know what, though? It reminds me of when I got caught swearing on telly and I got away with it because I could blame Les Dawson's daughter, who happened to be in the studio at the time.
What, you just said it was her?
Yeah. Because I would have been fired.
Were you on screen?
Yeah, basically, I'd gone off set and the programme was still running live and I walked off and on the programme they introduced a guest but the sound man faded up my microphone instead of the guest and I had a bruise on my arm and I was like, what the fuck is that? And it just happened to be at the time that the guest was being introduced. Yeah. And obviously my accent is fairly distinguishable, so the quick-thinking technical team who didn't want me to be fired, because, you know, I get on with them, we swapped the microphones over and said it was...
No!
We said it was Les Dawson's daughter because she happened to be in as a guest on the programme.
Yeah, a guest or a patsy. I suppose you weren't lucky you didn't have the Archbishop of York or somebody else.
Anyway.
Yeah.
What group were likened to Nazis this week?
Oh, the ERG?
Yeah, the European Research Group. Labour MP David Lammy caused a furore this week by comparing them to Nazis. Lammy told Andrew Marr that people are experiencing rising hate and extremism. We must call it out for what it is. In the name of balance, I should say, not all Conservatives can be accused of behaving like fascists. For years now, Chris Grayling has been doing his best to make sure the trains don't run on time. We now have a new Brexit party on the scene. What are they called?
Brexit Party.
Yeah. Highly imaginative.
Yeah.
They've only been going a week, apparently, but they're already ahead in the polls.
What, of everyone?
Yeah, everyone. Already.
Who did Farage announce would be running as a candidate for the party?
Annunziata Rees-Mogg.
Yeah.
Woman of the people there.
Yeah. Yeah, Annunziata Rees-Mogg, of course, a name made famous by her brother, also used as a spell in Harry Potter. What did David Cameron once suggest Annunziata Rees-Mogg should do?
Wasn't change her name to sound less posh?
Yeah.
And so she was going by, like, Annie or something?
No, she was going as Nancy Mogg.
Nancy Mogg?
Nancy Mogg, who was a character in Oliver.
Yeah.
And there's a terrible dilemma with Jacob and Annunziata, because no one knows how Nanny's going to vote.
According to The Times, then Prime Minister David Cameron suggested that if Annunziata wanted to run for election as a Tory, she should change her name on the ballot to Nancy Mogg, which coincidentally was Jacob's nickname at Eton. This is the footballer found not guilty of doing a Nazi salute. Goalkeeper Wayne Hennessy claimed that he did not know what a Nazi salute was. Also, the Brexit Party launched this week. Jacob Rees-Mogg insists that despite his sister Annunziata joining the Brexit Party, there would be no awkwardness at family gatherings. Unless, of course, young Septimus fails to use the vocative when greeting Annunziata in Latin. I have no idea what I just said there.
Someone did the wrong A-level.
Fingers on buzzers, teams. Ian.
At last, something I know about. This is Nando's.
Well done. Any
Yes, but I
idea?
bet you don't know where it is. Yeah, that's got him.
It's in a town called Welcome. There was a survey done in Preston. Did you read this? What's the favourite restaurant of people in Preston?
Yes.
And the answer was Nando's.
Yeah.
Obviously. And after that, it said, what's the favourite pub? And it's Wetherspoons.
Who was specifically annoyed that the award went to Nando's, though?
Some other people who own restaurants?
Yeah. It was the guy who came second. He's got an independent restaurant. Mark O'Rourke, he's called. He told The Times, "It just makes Preston look bad," adding, "Not that it isn't anyway." It's not a crown jewel of the Northwest. Do you know what his restaurant was called? It's a burger bar, and yes, it's a pun.
I can't believe it's not Nando's.
No, any other guesses?
Buckamee Burgers.
The Burgers of Calais.
Right, I'm going to put you out of
Is
your
it a
misery.
Rodin pub?
Yeah.
They'll get there.
It's named We Don't Give a Fork. The awards organiser, Mark Whittle, defended the wins for Nando's and Wetherspoons, saying, "It's good to recognise them publicly. They are the very reason many people visit Preston." Why else might people visit Preston?
The other thing I know about Preston is its pioneering economic model. As a way to deal with economic depression rather than having council services run by big corporations, they decided to give all their council contracts to local business and cooperatives, and it's actually done a lot to regenerate the region. So
Do you know what? The
visit
Preston PR team are going to be so happy with you.
I'm actually on that payroll.
Yeah, because it's not that at all.
That's what you pay your licence fee for.
I don't pay my licence.
Oh my God, that's the only thing you can be fired for at the BBC.
It's not the only one.
It's Preston resident Diane Fisher wrote to the Times comments section to say it has a smashing bus station. Yeah. Have a look at it, though. It is lovely.
Whoa.
Yeah. Underlying its status as a culinary hotspot, what was Preston the first place in Britain to have?
Burger King.
No.
KFC.
Yes. In 1965, Preston became the first place in Britain to have a Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Wow.
Yeah.
Never been.
It's a reason to go, though.
Yeah. Put it on your bucket list.
It shows you what they think of their customers, though. They're prepared to sell their produce in a bucket. Can we get a family trough?
You'll have had a bucket in your time.
No. I used to like it when I was younger because you know it was new and different, and 11 secret herbs and spices, 2 of which are salt and pepper. But it is a bit greasy, you know, and that's why they changed the name, isn't it? Of course, so they wanted to take people away from the notion of it being fried, so they call it KFC instead of Kentucky Fried Chicken.
It's not just the name they've changed either.
Not Colonel Sanders.
Oh, yeah, he's been rebranded.
Not.
Let's have a look at the old one to remind us.
Old
This
one,
is
yeah.
Old Colonel Sanders.
I trust him with me life.
Yeah. Here is the rebranded one.
What?
Secret recipe for success.
No.
That's
not Colonel Sanders.
As if he's ever had a family bucket in his life.
That can't be Colonel
Yeah, it is.
Sanders.
That's the new rebranded one.
I feel confused and excited.
Finally,
Yeah.
why has whole earth peanut butter been taken off supermarket shelves?
Because it's not what it says it is.
It's because its ingredients label says it contains walnuts, but accidentally they've written that in Dutch. So people might not be able to tell there's walnuts in it. Does anybody know what the Dutch is for walnut?
Hofmeister.
Walnut.
Walnut.
You can see the problem, can't you?
Yeah, I could confuse a stupid person.
To the end of Wayne Hennessy if he's got a walnut allergy.
Time now for the odd one out round. Just one between you this week. Your four are soprano Anna Patalon, Game of Thrones in China, page 3 models in the Daily Star, and 3 women in Florida. Paul.
In China, Game of Thrones, there's some sex scene, there's some semi-nudity in it, I think.
Yeah.
So the Chinese have cut those bit out. The 3 women at the bottom, presumably the Daily Star has stopped printing page 3.
I think the soprano...
Yeah, Anna Patalon.
Yeah.
Exactly. She...
Has an affair with 8 starfish.
She...
Which is commemorated in a souvenir bedspread.
She was on the People's Vote March a couple of weeks ago, and she was supposed to be performing, I think, at the Royal Albert Hall.
Yep.
She wanted to wear a blue dress with gold stars to symbolise
yes.
the support for the EU, and she was told, do not do that.
Right, so who was the odd one out?
I'm guessing maybe they were naked and she was actually the wrong dress rather than no dress.
Yeah, they've all caused offence by not wearing clothes, apart from Anna Patalon, who was warned she may cause offence because of the clothes she was wearing. So, yeah, you were saying, why was it potentially offensive then, what Anna Patalon was wearing?
Because it was pro-EU.
Yeah, at the Classical Spectacular concert at the Royal Albert Hall last month, Anna Patalon wore a yellow dress accompanied by a blue sash and a necklace of stars, which was thought to resemble the flag of the EU. Here she is.
It's quite subtle.
Organisers of the event deemed the outfit too provocative and open to misinterpretation.
Apparently, a lot of the music was European too.
Yeah, they asked her to change to a red dress for the remaining run of performances after they were inundated with one complaint. And you mentioned there about the Game of Thrones broadcast in China. Government officials have cut 6 minutes of sex and gore from the opening episode of the new series. According to The Times, it's left angry viewers in China complaining that the show is now more like a medieval castle documentary. You would love that, Ian, wouldn't you? Yeah.
I do love it.
What else have the Chinese censored?
Michael Portillo's Great British Railway Journeys. All the nudity got taken out.
What we're talking about here is male TV celebrities are having their earrings pixelated, apparently, and the recent Freddie Mercury biopic, Bohemian Rhapsody, was heavily edited to remove any mention of the Queen singer's sexuality. The absence of footage left some viewers complaining that the film was out of context and only 7 minutes long. Why has language learning app Duolingo recently become popular amongst Game of Thrones fans?
It teaches you how to speak, I think it's called High Valyrian.
Yeah, that's correct.
I don't watch.
Nearly 100,000 people in the UK have signed up to the course. According to the Mail, that's more than the number of Brits that speak Scottish Gaelic. I didn't know anyone did anymore, but there you are. Linguists, I know I'm going to get in trouble for that, aren't I?
Oh.
You'll get letters you won't understand.
So let's cast our eyes on the 3 young women in Florida.
Yes.
So who deemed them offensive for not wearing any clothes?
Is it in a concert?
Well, it was police in Florida who spotted the 3 women because they were applying suntan lotion publicly in the nude at a rest stop. When approached by police, the women hurriedly put on clothes and drove off, and it resulted in a highway patrol chase which lasted 21 miles. Yeah, they've all caused offence by not wearing clothes, apart from Anna Patalong, who was warned she may cause offence because of the clothes she was wearing. Opera singer Anna Patalong was told to change her EU-coloured dress because it was too provocative. It wasn't just her outfit that had a Brexit theme. Earlier in the day, she'd begged her hairdresser to give her several last-minute extensions. After the traffic cops filed their report, the desk sergeant thought the 3 naked women were Brazilians, but it turned out he was just reading the section headed Distinguishing Features. Time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features, as its guest publication, Laundry magazine. Annoyingly, you sometimes have to wait 30 seconds before you can open it. And we start with laundry experts divided over what?
Whites and colours.
Laundry experts divided over the best temperature to wash towels. According to Laundry magazine, top London hotel, the Dorchester, washes towels at a cool 30 degrees centigrade. Although, personally, I prefer to get my laundry tips from hotels that don't stone gaze to death. Next, what wins Sunday Times Best Place to Live in Britain award?
I know this, it's Salisbury.
Yeah.
Which is quite amusing, given the Russians' recent interest.
Yeah, Salisbury wins Sunday Times Best Place to Live in Britain award. Good to see Salisbury opening its doors to visitors. Well, you wouldn't want to touch one yourself, would you? Next, man claims to have spotted a penguin what?
Washing a pair of pants.
Is it a black tie dinner?
Yes.
Turned out to just be a Twix.
No, man claims to have spotted a penguin on Mars. This is this is Sun reader Steve Martin, who
Well, that
claims...
tells you all you need to know.
This is Sun reader Steve Martin, who claims this photo, released by NASA, shows a penguin on Mars. Can you see where it is?
Well, no.
There we are.
Yeah, I mean, that's not spurious.
Yeah, Steve also claims to have seen a live cat on Mars, but sadly it was run over and killed by NASA's Martian rover vehicle, Curiosity.
Very good.
Next, police say llama on a surfboard on the A38 near Plymouth, what?
Was uninsured.
Police say llama on a surfboard on the A38 near Plymouth was just fake news.
I grew up round there. Are you aware of the hairy hand of Dartmoor?
Is this someone you know?
This is my nickname at school.
A big cat sighting, is it?
Oh, no, that's the Beast of Bodmin. The hairy hand of Dartmoor is a ghost hairy hand that will appear when you're driving across Dartmoor and steer you off the road.
It could start to interfere with you when you were driving.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, it's getting really dark now.
It could be rustling in your glove compartment. You're going, stop doing that. I'm trying to construct. Yeah, it's a bit.
It could be quite handy, though, as well.
Handy?
Getting stuff out of your glove compartment.
Oh, what, if you wanted a mint?
Yeah.
It could feed your Imperials all the way to Bodmin.
To llamas on surfboards.
Yeah.
The story broke after news reached police of a llama walking along one lane of the A38. This was later rectified to an alpaca and then finally a backpacker. Next, Keith Burbridge uses what to what?
Uses a washing machine to navigate. Keith Burbridge uses a twin tub dryer to simulate the Battle of Britain.
Keith Burbridge uses mobility scooter to recreate model bus.
Oh.
Yeah, this is Keith Burbridge from Southbourne, who's built a vintage-style trolley bus from a mobility scooter.
Oh.
Let's have a look at Keith in action.
"50 years ago, on the 20th of April, the last trolley bus ran in Bournemouth. My wife Carol and I were on the last run to
It's excellent, isn't it?
That's great. Although, if I was in a car and I came around the corner, I'd be like, how far away is that bus?
This story appeared in the Bournemouth Daily Echo, which is both the name of the paper and the hollow sound that fills the newsroom when the editor asks, any stories worth covering today? And finally, man sues parents what?
For not telling him who the Nazis are?
For the name that they gave him?
No, man sues parents for destroying his porn collection.
Oh.
Who has a porn collection?
Especially featuring his parents.
No, who didn't?
Did I have a porn collection?
He didn't
That's
need
not
one.
the kind of
He
question
didn't
you
need-
ask, and have I got news for you?
He didn't need one, he had the hand from Dartmoor. Didn't need that. Didn't need it.
So the final scores are in. Paul and Josh are still on 3.
Oh, dear.
Ian and Ash on 7.
Oh.
And I leave you with the news that scientists have discovered that most stress, anxiety and depression in the UK can be traced to a single source. In America, there are concerns that Donald Trump's budget cuts may already be affecting the Californian Highway Patrol. And authorities are still mystified as to the cause of the Notre Dame fire, according to Cardinal Dubois, who insists the roof was fine the last time he looked. Good night.
Over on iPlayer, Frankie Boyle is still trying to make sense of the world we live in. Catch up with it all, available now. And over on the BBC Sounds app, check out First World Problems, a 5-part drama detailing the consequences of a UK civil war.